Call Halayam La Yahweh, Bahashem Hamashiach Yahawashi, Bahashem Rechak Wadash, Shalom to the hopefully elect, Akyam Wa Akwathium, Shalom. Just want to make a quick video. There's a lot of people that want to say, about the so-called white man being the Arabs and people not knowing who the Edomites are, and just the mystery of iniquity spoken of in, I believe, Second Thessalonians. But in these days, he's being revealed, and he spent money, billions of dollars a year, to keep the truth away from the Israelites, as of who we are and who they are. So that's the mystery of iniquity. So I just want to kind of just give a brief history on Esau, bring it up to speed, put them together, and then we just go ahead and let the scriptures say who Esau is, okay, today. And also people saying that the Edomites are done away with. So just want to just do a quick video, like I say, doing a quick brief history, and then going and bringing it all together full circle. And then we'll get a clear picture on who Esau is and if they exist today. So I just want to go ahead and go into the first verse, Genesis 36:12 here. It says, and Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. Those were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. So that shows you right here. Esau is the grandfather of Amalek. So Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz. Eliphaz directly, Esau's son. And so, yeah. So Amalek is Esau's grandson. So we know that Amalek is a part of the Edomites, a part of Esau, who is the father of the Edomites. So we know that Amalek is Edom as well. So he's a tribe of the Edomites. So now and also the name Amalek, if you just want to know what that means, Amalek means valley, dweller in the valley. So that's just pretty reminiscent to him, who he is, mentally, spiritually, and physically. He's on the lowest level, valley. He's the basis of all the heathen. He's the basis of all mankind, based off, does it have melanin, and just off those features alone. That's that curse from Cain, further back in Genesis. But that's a whole nother video as well. Lord willing, I can make a video in the future on that. But so just want to establish who is Amalek. He's a part of the Edomites. He's an Edomite tribe. He's actually the top Edomite tribe of the Amalekites. But yeah, so moving on. A sidebar, Amalekites. So, well, that's okay. I just don't want to get sidetracked too much. Just want to make it I don't want to make this video too long. Lord willing, I can make other videos explaining or expanding on some of the thoughts I had that I was about to go into here, but it's not really in alignment right now with the topic at hand. So so now from there, we're going to go ahead and go to Esther chapter 3. Chapter 3 verse Esther chapter 3 verse 9. And it says, if it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasuries. So like this is not the actual verse that I was looking. I think it's verse 2 right here. Verse 10 is what I was looking for. So, and the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. So this is when Haman, the Agagite, this is during the Persian captivity, when the Persians had destroyed the Babylonians and inherited, and the Jews inherited us, the Jews, from the Babylonian. So we got absorbed from the Babylonian captivity into the Persian captivity. And then Haman, an Agagite, he was influencing, he falsely accused the Jews, still beginning with Mordecai, because Mordecai didn't want to pay him obeisance, did not want to praise him and give him respect, because Mordecai, a righteous brother, righteous Benjamite, a Jew as well, he wasn't going to bend the knee to Haman, because he know that we are above the Edomites, and he was, and we're not going to bow down to any heathen. And so Haman was angry and wanted to destroy Mordecai and us. So he was trying to get the Persian king to destroy us, and so he's falsely accusing us right here. But so it's interesting to note that the Lord made it a point to notate on the end of Hammedatha the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. And so I just want to get a couple more precepts on that. So let's go to Esther 9 and 10. Esther 9, chapter 9, verse 10. And it says, the 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the enemy of the Jews, slew they, but on the spoil laid they not their hand. So once again, when you're mentioning Haman, the Lord mentioning Haman, that the enemy of the Jews. And let's go again to Esther chapter 8, verse 3. Esther chapter 8, verse 3. And Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief that Haman the Agagite, and his device that he had devised against the Jews. Okay, so look at that verse in particular. I'm in verse 1. So look at, I think I'm going a little bit quicker than I should be. That's why I'm missing my verse I'm going to. But yeah, verse 1. That's what I wanted. On that day did the king Ahasuerus give the house of Haman, the Jews' enemy, unto Esther the queen. And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her. So it's like I get a little excited when trying to break down, going through these multiple precepts. So I slow down a little bit. Sometimes I get a little too ahead of myself. But yeah, so once again, the Lord notating, letting you know that Haman is the Jews' enemy. And Haman represents the Edomites here. So the Edomites as a nation, as a totality, are the enemy of the Jews. So the Lord, it's not a coincidence the Lord is letting it be known every single time, many times throughout the book of Esther, that he is our enemy. Didn't mention it like that with any other heathen nation, any other Gentile, heathen Gentile nation. So very interesting to know. It's not meant, the Lord is not repeating this over and over for it's for a particular purpose, so that we'll know who our true enemy is upon earth. So anyone that opposes the Lord's commandments is an enemy, but the enemy are the Edomites. The top enemy are the Edomites. Okay, so moving on, let's see. And then also, let's go ahead and get Esther 9:24. Because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast Pur, that is, the lot, to consume them and to destroy them. So once again, just want to get, multiple witnesses, multiple precepts, to go ahead and prove, and show you that it's mentioned many times that Haman is the Jews' enemy, because that's our perpetual enemy. And we're to never think otherwise. Like, unfortunately, today most of our people today think Esau in some way is our friend, buddy. Give him all these passes, but he's not our brother. He's our enemy. So, our mortal enemy. Now from there, let's go to Agag, because he keeps referencing this guy Agag as well, the Agagite. So who is the Agagites? Those are descendants of Agag. And who is Agag? Let's go ahead and look him up. We'll look him up real quick in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. And it's this book right here. This is the one I have, but it's multiple. Some of them look like this over here. I think this is the compact. The compact. I have the larger book. They both all, provide the same information. same definitions and breakdowns. There's a lot of pictures, a lot of definitions. A great study tool for your studies in the Bible. So let's go to Agag. Let's see. So I can flip to him real quick. Okay, so Agag, an important king of Amalek, of whom Balaam prophesied that a king of Jacob would surpass him, the king of the Amalekites, whom Saul captured alive, though the Most High had, through the prophet Samuel, ordered him to destroy them entirely. So that's enough on that. So Agag, he was the Amalekite. He was an Amalekite king. So that was the Amalekite tribe. That's their so-called royal Edomite tribe. So that's who that is. He was a descendant. Haman is a descendant of Agag, an Agagite king, Amalekite king from in the past. And now from there, okay, yeah. Now we're gonna go to because in the Apocrypha it has the rest of the books of Esther. So in the Apocrypha, I'm gonna go to the book of the rest of the books of Esther, and let's pull up a quick reference about Haman in here. So in the Apocrypha, the rest of the books of Esther, chapter 16, verse 10, for Haman, a Macedonian, the son of Hammedatha, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood. Why was he a stranger? He's a foreigner. He's not of their nation. He was an Edomite. Being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood. And why that's made a distinction? Because he was he got cool in the Persian, in the Persian nation, and rose up to the ranks to second in command under the Persian king. That's how the slithering serpent does. He's good at making his way and maneuvering and getting to the top of in other nations, their hierarchy and their order of leadership. That's his biggest strength. But anyway, so verse 10 again from the top. For Haman, a Macedonian, the son of Hammedatha, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood, and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us. So, verse 11, had so far forth obtained the favor that we showed toward every nation, as that he was called our father, and was continually honored of all men as the next person unto the king. But that's that on that. But just kind of showing you that he had rose up the ranks pretty high. He was getting honored of all men, right next to the king. So that's just what Esau does. That's his strength. He's very cunning. Like he's a cunning hunter, and he's a hunter of power as well. But so right here, so the key part I wanted to get was verse 10 was for Haman, a Macedonian. That's very key. That's another nugget revealed, because we know that the Edomites, they like to change their name, and they always go by multiple different names. So this is another title linking Macedonian, linking him to the Edomites. So the Macedonians are Edomites, and Haman, he's an Edomite, and he's a Macedonian as well. So going from there, there's a book by Flavius Josephus, and I got his book called The Antiquities of the Jews, and it's basically gives an account. He's first off, he's a Israelite. He's an Israelite Jew, and he is a Israelite historian. And what he did, compiled all the records, because he had all, in our nation we had all our records, our ancient records and books, and he compiled it, and he wrote accounts to go parallel with the books of the Bible, well, the Old Testament, and it's very good, powerful reading because he gives some key nuggets of expanding on certain events that happen throughout the history in the Bible. So it's a very great reading source as well. It's called Flavius Josephus. That's who he is, and he was a Israelite historian that wrote, books about our history, the Israelites. He's a scholar that most biblical scholars, the highest level scholars of the biblical history in the Bible, they reference his work a lot of times too, because it's like the closest to being authentic, being objective. Because with these European scholars, they like to manipulate truth. So this is pretty down the middle, objective, and it's in alignment with the scriptures pretty well as far as the historical reference. But anyway, so in the Antiquities of the Jews, in 11.6 and 11, let me see, the way it's broken down is like, I think that chapter 11.6.2, or in this case is .5. It says, when Haman observed this, he inquired whence he came, and when he understood that he was a Jew, he had indignation at him, and said within himself, that whereas the Persians, who were free men, worshipped him, this man, who was no better than a slave, does not vouchsafe to do so. And when he had desired to punish Mordecai, he thought it too small a thing to request of the king that he alone might be punished. He rather determined to abolish the whole nation, for he was naturally an enemy to the Jews, because the nation of the Amalekites, of which he was, had been destroyed by them. Accordingly, he came to the king and accused them. So the Edomites, they always falsely accusing us of everything, making up lies to destroy us. So he created a lie to destroy not just Mordecai, but the Jews. Why? Because because we are natural enemies perpetually. But we destroyed them. Why? Because they fought against us in the wilderness in Egypt. That's why the Lord destroyed them. Had David destroy them, and Saul as well, but Saul didn't completely destroy them, but David did. But okay, and now next, moving on to the next reference I have. Let me see. So now, so I'm gonna show who the Idumeans are. Well, real quick, in First Maccabees chapter 1. So that word Macedonia. So Macedonian. So the Macedonians, that's another title and name the Edomites went under. So in First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1, it says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip. Who is this? This is who they call Alexander the Great, but we call him Alexander the Freak. So Alexander the Great, this is who this is referencing. So we'll start from the top again. And it happened after that Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. So that King Alexander, the first Greek king, they were Macedonians right before they became Greeks. So Haman, Macedonian, King Alexander, his father was a Macedonian, Philip the Macedonian, and Slovakia, excuse me. And so it shows you right there, Alexander was a Macedonian turned the first Greek king of the Edomites. So that's the paper trail thus far. The Macedonians, so Haman, the Agagite, he was also a Macedonian, and then also we know King Alexander, the so-called Great, was the first Greek king, that's mentioned here in First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. So it all comes together. we know Greeks were so-called, or the white people today, and that's who they reference. They love they love to reminisce on their Greek and Roman heritage. So we getting a clearer picture on who the Edomites are and who the white folks are. They are people that keeps changing their names, so that we won't know exactly who the Edomites are. So, and also we'll look up Idumeans. So going back to the Pictorial Bible Dictionary, when you go to look up the word Idumean, let me pull it real fast. So Idumea, Greek, pertaining to Edom. So wait a minute. Okay, so it's the same thing. Why is it Idumea? That's just another. That's the Greek. That's the Greek version. That's the Greek translation of the word Edom. So saying again, Greek pertaining to Edom. In King James version of Old Testament, Idumea, the name used by the Greeks and Romans for the country of Edom. And then also it says, see Edom. So let you know, go to Edom. If you want to know what Idumea is, go to the definition for Edom. Also right here's a reference for Mark chapter 3 verse 8. We'll go there real quick. I hadn't read that verse before, but I'm gonna just double check on it and see what that reference is. Mark 3 and 8. It says, and from Jerusalem, and from Idumea, and from beyond Jordan, and they about Tyre and Sidon, a great multitude, when they had heard what great things he did, came unto him. So okay, just showing you that that's the verse in the New Testament. It could be in more part verse. I have to double check if Idumea is in the New Testament more, but right here is just showing you Idumea just as a reference of it mentioned in the New Testament. But anyways, okay, so now when you go in the Strong's Concordance, now we go to the word Idumea to look up that definition. I mean Edom, because Idumea it says see Edom, so just let you know that it's Edom. Okay. Salakia. Get ready to get to it. Okay, here we go. Edomites. It says, Adawam, Edom, red. The nation and its people were the descendants of Esau. There you go. We just read earlier at the beginning, the first precept, Genesis 36 and 12, that Amalek was the grandson of Esau. So the Idumeans, another name for Edom. So they're all the Edomites. So says he founded the country, so his name equated with Edom. The country. Okay, that's all I want to get on that. But so one quick part here that I want to highlight as well. It says Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from the Most High Power. So that's so that now you can begin to see exactly why they don't want to keep that title and don't want people to know who they are, because their future is grim, and that's why you can kind of understand why everything in society is satanic and wicked. It's because they know that their future is their mortgage, like that phrase, mortgage in the future for the present, and they're trying to make everybody else mortgage their future inheritance of the kingdom of heaven. The Israelites mainly trying to make us mortgage our future to live in sin and filth right now and enjoy the leisures of the flesh and go down with him. He's trying to take as many people down with him because he knows his future is non-existent. So anyways, going on. Okay, so we go ahead and go to Genesis chapter 36. Genesis chapter 36, verse 43. Genesis 36 and 43. Says, Duke Magdiel, Duke Iram, these be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations in the land of their possession. This is what I want to hear. It says, he is Esau, the father of the Edomites. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. So that's key there. Also want to get verse 19. Genesis 36, verse 19. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. And verse 1. Moving up to verse 1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. And verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. So the Lord Yahweh, he's letting us know this over and over in verse 9 as well. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir. Like the Israelites' mount is Zion, Mount Zion. That's the Israelites' mountain. And Esau's mount is Mount Seir. So anytime you hear Mount Seir, it's referencing Esau, the Edomites. So the Lord repeats this over and over, lets us know in this chapter, so we won't forget. He beats it into our head. Esau is Edom. Esau the Edomites. Esau is the father of the Edomites. And also, just like when he let us know, Haman, the enemy of the Jews. Haman represent the Edomites. Esau, the Edomites. They're the enemy of the Israelites. The Jews, that's a blanket term, and one enemy of one tribe of the Israelites is an enemy of all the tribes of the Israelites. So he's the Edomites are the perpetual enemies of the Israelites. So now moving on, let's go to Matthew chapter 2, verse 1. Matthew chapter 2, verse 1. And it reads, Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem, I know people that may not know who it says Jesus here, but Jesus is not his name. His Hebrew name is Yahushua, which means he delivers, he saves. So Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 again. Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem. I was about to say the Hebrew name for Jerusalem. The Hebrew word for Jerusalem is Yerushalayim, city of peace. But Jerusalem. So anyway, the word I want to get here was Herod. So Herod the king. So we know that Herod wanted to kill when he heard of the news of the Messiah being born of the Jews. He was shook. So he was nervous. He wanted to go ahead and try to nip it in the bud. He wanted to kill Yahushua. Unfortunately, doing as a serpent does. And so he made a decree, unrighteous decree, to kill every child, I believe, male boy, 2 years of age and younger, to try to kill the Messiah. But I just wanted to get a little background on Herod. So when we look up Herod, let me pull that real quick. Slack. So Matthew chapter 2. And now when you go into the breakdown of Herod, just get a description of who he is. Right here, his name is supposed to mean heroic. They put whatever. Heroically evil. But anyways, so right here it says, the name of a royal family that flourished among the Jews in the time of the Messiah and the apostles. Herod the Great was the son of Antipater the Idumean. It said, Antipater of Idumea. But that's another name. But his title, a lot of people know it by, is Antipater the Idumean. But Herod the Great was the son of Antipater of Idumea. So I just gave you a breakdown of who Idumea is. It's just the Greek version of the word Edom, and Edom is Esau. Esau is the father of the Edomites, and then the Macedonians, they went by the Macedonians. Haman, he was of the royal family. So this is showing you that it says the name of a royal family, so that he's an Amalekite as well. That's the royal family. They're the Amalekites. Amalek, he's the royal tribe of the Edomites, the so-called royal tribe. So, and Lord willing, I can make a video about the Amalekites, and they are the Jewish man today over in Israel, the greatest stolen identity theft in the history of mankind. So they took our identity. That's who the Amalekites are today. But the Edomites, now you can see, because we all know Herod, the so-called great. We know that he was a so-called white boy. So now you have a quick history of the ancient, of Amalek, Esau, the Edomites, Mount Seir, which referenced the Edomites, Haman the Agagite, which is a Amalekite king from an ancient Amalekite king bloodline, so-called royal bloodline that goes back to Amalek, who is the grandson of Esau, and also the Macedonian. Haman was known as a Macedonian. They changed their names to Macedonians, and then they went from Macedonians to the Greeks. So that gives you a transition, then all the way to Herod, who was a Roman, who he went from Greeks to being Romans. But Herod, he was the father of Antipater of Idumea, which is of Edom, the Edomites. So we know that the Romans were so-called white people, and this is Rome all over again in America. So letting you know, that this should paint the picture very clearly right now that Esau or the Edomite, Esau is the white man, the Edomites, they're all the same. I hope this video and lesson was edifying. To the next video, I say Shalom.